I've got a really cool mod that I'm going to show you how to install today, and I know what some of you guys might be thinking out there. Why would you even bother modding a Boss MT2 into some sort of blues pedal? Firstly, the mod is really cheap and easy to install, and secondly, the Boss MT2 has got some features other pedals don't have, which make it insanely versatile. Lastly, and probably the most important point, is that it sounds amazing. The Boss MT2, once you modify it, can stand up against any boutique blues pedal out there. And in addition to that, the powerful tone shaping capabilities of this pedal mean you can emulate almost any tone you can think of. Check out a few of these different tones that I put together. I'll break down these a little bit later on. And while you're listening to this, keep reminding yourself that what you're actually hearing is a Boss MT2 Metalzone. This is a mod I came up with a few years ago now. It's a great mod. I used to do this all the time back when modding was massive. First, take these screws out of the bottom. Now, I've got a free Boss MT2 schematic with all the parts sort of circled on my fourth wall page. Now, this schematic is going to be free for everyone. All you've got to do is go over there and sign up for a free account. You'll have access to this schematic. And for Plus members, I've got a whole bunch of other mods over there as well from my mod book of secrets. And I'll also have a little short video going through this mod as well, just to describe things a bit better and just give you a few extra tips as well. Now, if you want to become a Plus member, I've got some links down in the description. Definitely check it out. I've got over 200 videos over there now, free downloads. All this just goes back into supporting the channel. Right, so once you've got these screws out, pull the bottom off, and there'll be an insulation layer. Extremely important layer, this plastic thing. Do not lose it. Okay, then you're going to pop this bottom off. Sometimes you can just shake it off like that. Be very careful when pulling off the bottom of these, because Boss pedals are really robust when they're together, but when they're disassembled, they can be so brittle and easy to break. Okay, now we've got access to all the components, and everything we want is just on this board here. Our first change is removing C35. It is right there. You can clip it out, or you can remove it completely, which is what I prefer to do. And then next you want to find C34, which is right here. And we're going to be changing that, remove that capacitor and change it with a 47 nanofarad. And what that does is that gets rid of the pre-EQ shaping that the MT2 has. It has this pre-EQ shaped into it. It's kind of baked into the sound. And that is kind of the big thing that people don't like about it. So that restructures that gain stage and gets rid of that sort of baked in sort of nasally mid-tone. Next, you want to locate C25. So that is right here. Now you want to remove that. That's another EQ stage where removing that sort of pushes up those mids again. So it's just trying to give it a more neutral response. This next one is quite a unique one, and I feel it's what makes this really unique, this mod. You'll want to remove D4 and D3 right here. Now they are the two diodes in the circuit. We want to remove those and replace D4 with a 1K resistor, not a diode. Now what that does is that's going to dump off a bit of signal before it hits that next stage. So that really makes the pedal sound a lot less slammed and a lot more natural. Lastly, we've got C26, this one right here, right next to this op amp. And we're going to change that out for a 470 picofarad capacitor. This just smooths out a lot of that top end fizz that these pedals can have. A couple of good tips here: when you're pulling out components, mark on the opposite side which solder points that you need to reflow, and then you're just going to be pulling them out gently with a pair of long nose pliers on this side. That's an easy way of getting them out, and then you just clean up the pads, put the new components in, and resolder them. Okay, I'm going to put this all back together now, and then I'm going to break down some of those sounds that I played a little earlier. One thing to remember is this is going to sound different in your rig with your guitar and your amp and the way you play and your touch and your feel, all those sorts of things. So copying a setting straight from what I'm doing here is probably not going to get the exact same results. You're going to have to tweak it. With pedals like this where you've got a lot of scope and a lot of EQ, it's easy to get some really good sounds, and it's also very easy to get some really, I suppose, not so good sounds. So it can make things like this quite difficult to use if you don't explore the settings. And when I say explore, use things way past that 12 o'clock straight up and down position, because you don't want to get stuck at that 12 o'clock club. You end up restricting what you can do with any piece of equipment if you just keep everything straight in the middle. Use things to the extremes, hear what it sounds like. There's no right or wrong, you can do whatever you want. So this is the sound I use for that slow dance. And it's got a nice little scoop to it, and the overdrive, you notice, sounds really natural. I'm using the drive almost all the way off. Now, one thing you might notice with this unit is I've added a little switch to the back. This is going to give you a low gain and a high gain setting. It's the same exact mod from that Rat video I did a little while ago. So it's adding a resistor across that drive control. And don't worry, Plus members, I am going to show you how I do that in the video that's on my site. Just the links are down in the description. So I can click that switch down, and that's about as much gain as I'm going to get from this pedal. If I turn that off, quite full on in that setting. To get the more Texas sound, all I did was push those mids up. So I kept the mid frequency the same, and I just pushed the mids up, and I think I pushed the bass up a little bit as well. Gave me a bit more of a beefier sound. And the thing you'll find with this is that a lot of those controls don't need to be moved much to actually get quite a big effect. It can still do those heavy sounds. So let me just flatten this out. It still chugs pretty good. I'm not great at metal. It sounds great for metal, and it can still do an awesome rock tone, but I think it really excels in that blues genre, and it's one of my favorite pedals once modded for blues, just because you can get so much out of it, and you can sort of sculpt it to however you like. You can sit there and sort of tone match tones with it. Very, very powerful pedal in this format. So make sure you try this mod. Let me know down in the comments how it goes for you, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.